the majority of Americans are going to be in big trouble. Hello there everyone, it's Nat here, aka the Wolf of Watertown. Today we're going to be discussing retirement planning. So go ahead and smash that like button. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. So when it comes to retirement planning, a lot of people like to put this on the back burner. However, it's because of this very reason why the majority of Americans are going to be in deep trouble once they start approaching that retirement age. So now really, let's talk about it. Retirement planning doesn't have to be time consuming or stressful. People simply just don't take the time to actually do it. In our country today, a lot of people fall short of their retirement planning. One of the main reasons for this is that it's very easy to procrastinate. A little effort early will save you years of headache in the future. Now, let's go into some 9 shocking stats that you didn't know about retirement planning. The first is that there's only 58% of Americans that are actually saving for retirement. There are 2 main reasons why this is. The first is that people don't have enough money to actually save. The second reason is that most people don't think they need to start saving for retirement quite yet. This leads to usually waiting a year or 2 to even start beginning saving for retirement. What's key to remember is that the sooner you begin, the easier it will be for you to actually reach your goals. A lot of people tend to get intimidated by the big number that financial advisors put out as this is how much you need to actually retire. For instance, if I told you that you needed $1 million to retire with, you might be pushed back a little bit. However, if I told you to save $500 each month, that's a little bit more realistic and attainable. If you do this for 30 years, bam, you have $1 million. Even though the $500 barrier per month might be difficult to some, it allows you to narrow down on your goals better. So now you can think, what areas can I save money on and what can I do on the side in order to hit $500 a month? Just makes the goal overall a lot more attainable. Fact number 2, 48% of people have less than $10,000 saved for their retirement. Now, the average household should have an emergency fund of about $30,000, yet we have more than half of the population that has less than a third of that number in their savings for retirement. $10,000 can barely get you a used car in this day and age. So how are you ever going to be able to support yourself after your working years with that kind of money? Let's take this moment to do a quick practical exercise so you guys get the full scope of what this actually means. Let's say you had $10,000 and you kept it in an account where you didn't add any more money to the $10,000. This is all the money you have for retirement, but you're going to keep it in an account for 30 years. And hypothetically, let's just say this $10,000 is growing at a 10% interest rate. At the end, this would only be $175,000. This wouldn't even scratch the surface of covering for your medical expenses, let alone covering for your whole life after your working years are over. If we applied the 4% withdrawal rule to this lump sum of money, you'd be receiving about $33 a month after retirement. So we can see from this exercise that $10,000 alone is not enough to save for retirement, which means half the population in the United States is in great danger. This also means the large majority of people will probably be working for the rest of their lives. Fact number 3, more than half of baby boomers say that their income after their working years are over is going to come from Social Security. The average Social Security check is $1,340 per month. This comes out to $16,000 a year. Yes, it's something, but it's really not much at all. So this basically means no vacations, no nice cars, nothing at all. Basically, you're not going to be able to enjoy your retirement. Realistically, in this situation, what it'll look like is that you're going to still have to continue working. You'll have no way of actually covering your medical expenses. What you should be getting out of all of this is that Social Security should just be an added bonus. You should not rely on Social Security alone for retirement. Stat number 4. So only 1/10 of all Americans are actually saving 15% or more towards their retirement. Now, no matter where you look, any financial advisor, any book you read, any podcast, one thing you'll see that all financial advisors or all finance gurus will agree on is to pay yourself first. And most likely what they'll say is you should be giving 15% of your monthly income to yourself. So if 1/10 of the American population isn't even getting this right, then we're seriously in deep trouble. And if you're older, 15% isn't even enough to help cover you in order to reach retirement age. Stat number 5. Now, only 36% of Americans actually know how much money they're going to need saved in order to retire. So let's think about this for a second. How can you make a plan if you don't even have a goal? So if you have no goal and you have no plan, then eventually you'll get somewhere, but it probably won't be somewhere that you'll like. The reason why a lot of people don't have this goal is because they know that the number that they will need in their goal is so high that it seems unrealistic, and it just deters them altogether from even planning. An excuse that a lot of people will tell others or tell themselves is that they don't invest because they can't afford to start investing. And the honest truth is you can't afford not to invest. A lot of people fail to make a plan simply because they're intimidated. Whatever your financial goal is, in order to retire where you are comfortable, whether it be 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, you need to set a plan in place, because once you have that plan in place, it'll be a lot less intimidating and you can take smaller bites at this goal until you eventually achieve it. So you can actually enjoy a very peaceful and wonderful retirement. Interesting fact number 6, the majority of Americans actually learn about retirement through word of mouth. And this means all their information is basically coming from friends and family. Yes, that's right. So that means the majority of people are leaving their financial future to casual conversation. And that's what's leading them. And yes, this is fine at the introductory level, but your family and friends are probably not going to be subject matter experts when it comes to retirement. You gotta sit down and really think about this. Retirement is a time when you're supposed to be rewarded for a lifetime of work. If you want to reap the fruits of your labor, you need to actually take the time to research, to create a plan in order to actually be able to enjoy your retirement. This research will allow you to make your own well-informed decisions. Now, stat 7, which surprised me, but didn't really surprise me, then surprised me again. The average millennial debt is $30,000. However, the average millennial income is $55,000. Now, if you open any social media outlet, you'll see a bunch of millennials. I'm part of the group, I am a millennial, crying about how debt is holding them back from attaining financial freedom or whatever the case may be. However, research shows that the cost of living is the biggest barrier to stopping millennials from saving for retirement. It is not debt. I repeat, it is not debt. The simple fact of the matter is that a lot of millennials nowadays put their financial future in the back seat, and what actually takes precedence in their life is living in the moment. Now, don't shut me off quite yet. I completely agree. You should enjoy life and you should live in the moment. You should definitely have fun, but not to the point where you're neglecting your future. Rather, you should want to plan well so you can retire early and then spend time doing the things you actually enjoy. That sounds a lot better to me than working through your 50s and 60s trying to make up for lost progress in order to play catch up with your retirement. Now, believe it or not, regardless of whatever income group you're in, it is pretty possible to save 15% of your income while still having a good quality of life. Stat number 8. 60% of Americans lose sleep thinking about retirement. Now, money isn't everything, but it controls the majority of the things that revolves around our life on a day-to-day basis. Where you live, work, go to school, where your kids go to school, all of this is heavily affected by money. And if you don't see or believe this to be true, just think about this for a second, and it might be kind of a hard concept to grasp. So take a minute and close your eyes and think to yourself, where would you be and what would you be doing right now if money wasn't a factor? Now open your eyes. I bet you wouldn't be in the position you're in right now, at the location you're at right now, doing what you're doing right now. What exactly is holding you back then from achieving your goal? Once you actually gain control of money, you're put at ease. When you're in a position where you seem to postpone the inevitable, what you end up doing is you're compounding the stress that's going to come later on in the future. Now, the ninth and final stat I have for you guys today is that only 40% of Americans have actually spent time planning their retirement. There is simply a lack of time dedication to this very, very important topic. People spend a lot more time trying to figure out where they want to go for vacation than where they want to put their money for retirement. People will spend years at work but won't take 5 minutes to figure out if they're going to be financially on track to retire. Now, this is all a very backwards way of thinking. I like to refer to it as the backwards mindset. Your investments can grow more with time than you can working in order to make an income. Now, I know it's a norm in some cultures, but for me personally, the last thing I would want is to rely on my kids to support me in my old age because I failed to plan properly for my financial future, and now I'm struggling in my retirement years where I should be enjoying life. That's all I got for you guys this week. I hope this video inspired you to go create a retirement account if you didn't have one already, or if you do have one, it reinforced some of the basics and will encourage you to go be a little bit more aggressive with your savings towards retirement. Make sure to leave a comment below. Let me know what you learned, what you could add to the conversation, or what you think I should have emphasized on a little bit better. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to share this video to someone who you think might find this information helpful, and see you all next week.